What's up, everybody? Welcome to Podcast Now. I'm Alex, and this week I want to talk about the gameplay of Assassin's Creed Valhalla, and really kind of the conflicting thoughts that I've seen a lot of people have on this game. So obviously this was shown at Ubisoft Forward just a little while ago, a couple hours ago, and it's coming out November 17th. That's great, really, really close. I think that it's just now that we've all kind of seen gameplay, I feel like there's kind of just some sort of bubble that we all had that was kind of popped. Looking at a lot of different news outlets or like gaming outlets have had their chance to be able to play this game. They're all uploading gameplay. Obviously, we had kind of the overview of how gameplay is going to work in the game that Ubisoft gave. You'll be seeing a kind of a mixture of those things during this video. And, I think that what they showed was decent. I like the idea of raids. I like the that entire process that you get to be part of large-scale battles. I'm always a sucker for those kind of things, even like the newest Middle-earth game, right? Shadow of War, they had something similar to that. And so I actually, like, if you have that kind of mechanic where you get to take part in a massive fight, sign me up for it, right? I'm all a part of it. The gameplay itself, though, and now that we're seeing, again, different outlets doing it, I watched IGN. I know a lot of different ones have had gameplay up as well, but people are not happy. So this video is as much of me talking about it as it also is me wanting to know what you guys think, because again, I think because now the cat's kind of out of the bag, people have kind of turned their backs on Assassin's Creed. I know a lot of us were very, very excited for this game. I can tell you, I still am excited, okay? I'm still going to get this game day one. I'm excited to play it. Most likely, I'll be watching my wife play this game a lot. She really loves Assassin's Creed games. Hopefully, I'll get my hands on it at some point, but I do want to play it. At the same time, I do think I echo what the majority of people are saying in terms of, I guess, the negative camp, and it doesn't look all that much different. Now, this is kind of the worst-case scenario from what we heard from the leaked gameplay. Now, remember, over the last couple of weeks, actually, I think over the last week and a half, there were two different times that gameplay of this game got leaked out, where it was a boss fight, it was like a 30-minute segment, right? And they were quickly removed, but the people that got to see it were not pleased. And one of the main things going around was that the game is way too similar to what we've already played. It looks like a reskin. I saw a lot of people say in that IGN video that it looks like a complete reskin, or it looks like a DLC for The Witcher 3. I'm seeing a lot of that going around. So, and honestly, I mean, looking at it myself, okay, because I have watched it, again, when they did it, when Ubisoft did their own overview thing, it does look pretty solid. But when you do watch, I think, extended gameplay, I don't think it's terrible. I don't think it's like the worst thing I've ever seen. I don't think it's a thing that, honestly, to me is going to make me not buy it. But what I will say is I do agree that it's not the step forward that we all want. I think that's the biggest thing that probably is, I mean, I guess to me it really is disappointing because, you have this game, and out of all the games really coming out this fall, Cyberpunk, I guess, could probably be another one where you look at these games as, can any of them really be a next generation game? Remember when Watch Dogs, the first Watch Dogs game came out, that game was, touted by Ubisoft, right? They're always doing this kind of stuff, by Ubisoft as being like, oh my god, this is the next gen experience you guys were waiting for, right? Assassin's Creed, I think to a lot of people, I think thought of it that was going to be like that going into this fall, and now again we know when it's coming out. Really, I think within a week of each other, we're going to get Cyberpunk, Assassin's Creed, and next gen console. So I mean, that middle of November is going to be absolutely insane. It's going to cost people like you, people like me, people that are going to buy these things a lot of money, right? But overall, it just doesn't seem like the increase we want. I do think that. I would say I agree with that. Cyberpunk looks like it's been toned down too in terms of when we last saw it compared to what it was before. But I think Assassin's Creed, it is always such an event when they announce the things, when it kind of has a lead up to it. So I was right with everybody hoping that this game was going to be something special. And by the way, I'm a very optimistic person. I give all games on all systems and all kinds of games, I give them all a chance. So I am not saying at all that I'm turning my back on this game, that it's just over, that I'm not going to, give it any more chances. No, I mean, I want to see this thing through, and ultimately I'll be deciding for myself, right, if the game sucks or if it doesn't suck. But I do agree that this isn't, I think, a game. Watch Dogs, by the way, I don't think will be the game. Cyberpunk, even. That's what's tough about having, and by not be the game, I mean, not be the game to say like this is a next-gen game. However, I will say this. It may be unfair to them because when we're looking at all these games, these are all games very clearly made with current gen in mind, right? It's really going to take till, I think, late next year, not even like the first half of next year, but late next year until we start to see games that are made that were like had next gen only in mind. I guess excluding exclusives like Horizon Forbidden West by Sony, that looks like, okay, it does look similar to Horizon Zero Dawn, I'll give you that, but you can tell, I think they'll tell us as we get closer that this was a game that was designed from the beginning for next-gen consoles, right? So, again, it's kind of unfair to Watch Dogs, to Assassin's Creed, to Cyberpunk. It's any game coming out in that October to November range because we're all kind of wanting a game to sell us, right, on next-gen, like give us that next-gen experience. I don't think Assassin's Creed will be that. I think what's going to worry, and I get it that may not even be the main criticism of this game as of right now, right, from what people have seen. I think the biggest thing right now, and again, I can't agree with this, is it does seem very much like a skin of Odyssey. Like, it very much seems like an expansion. I can't say that I didn't see it coming, that I didn't kind of expect that could happen oftentimes with these games. And yes, they rotate studios that help make these games, but I just really think maybe it's like the next Assassin's Creed. That's the game that we get that's like, oh my god, like this is taking full advantage of next-gen consoles. Again, with that being said, and with that being in our minds, again, I'm not turned off by it. I'm not saying, oh my god, this looks awful, all of a sudden I'm not getting the game. It looks solid. The gameplay is pretty much exactly what we've experienced. I mean, yeah, there's new abilities, new kind of like move sets that you can do that do look kind of interesting. It just overall, it looks like they're reusing a lot of previous assets, right? Again, is that the worst thing in the world? Not necessarily, but for those that kind of built this game up in their head, which again, I completely understand. If you're on that side and you're saying, oh, you just don't understand. No, I completely understand. I get where you're coming from, right? Very split, very, very split. It's hard because Assassin's Creed really, I think, always has its haters and its fans. And again, I'm not saying like if you are one or versus the other, you're a bad person, but it's always had that. And I think it always does have some sort of movement, some sort of like, it feels like an event when these games get announced. They always look so good. The potential for these games are always so high. Even like going back to like the Ezio, games, right? Like Assassin's Creed 2 onward, there was so much that you see the cinematic trailer and even some, select things of gameplay and you're like, man, they nailed it. And then obviously you play it and then each game kind of has its own quality level, right? I think it's always kind of been that. Obviously there was a time with like Syndicate and Unity where Assassin's Creed fell off the grid entirely, but I think it's still back. I think it's still going to be an overall solid game. And we'll have to see. They've talked about how maybe Odyssey was filled with kind of too much stuff, right? And how it kind of repeated and they don't really like that. It kind of like fell off in terms of quality because they were trying to do more quantity. So we'll have to see how it overall works. Honestly, I'm not even worried about Assassin's Creed. There's a much bigger game, or actually there's a game that's smaller than it that's got much bigger problems, and that game is called Watch Dogs Legion that I want to talk about in the next video. So guys, let me know in the comments below, what do you think? You excited for Assassin's Creed? Did this gameplay really turn you off to it? Let me know. As always, make sure you guys are subscribed to our YouTube channel, Podcast Now. Hit the bell icon so you guys know when these videos go up, and check out my second channel. I'll leave a link for that in the description below. I'm going to be covering more Ubisoft stuff there as well tomorrow, as well as another video on this channel today in just a few hours. You guys won't get notifications for it, but it's going to be on Watch Dogs Legion, okay? Thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you all on the next video.